Hi. So it is, can't even keep track of the days. All I could say is tomorrow is 2 weeks since I posted already. And I explained I would never let that happen again in my last video. So I have to throw something out there just to explain that these past 2 weeks have been extremely traumatizing. And that's why I have not gotten to it. You will all understand when you see the next footage of everything that's taken place, which is mind-boggling that all this could take place in just 2 weeks. So thank you for your patience. And by tomorrow, I'm hoping to have it all up and going, and it's going to be a part 2 with the videos that I have already shown. It's going to be a big recap. I'm recapping and updating. Peace and blessings. Hi, today is Monday, August 24th. I have to put up this little footage before the entire storyline episode 5 that's upcoming because that was supposed to go up last Thursday. I had mentioned in episode 4 I did not want to be 2 weeks late again. I apologize for it, and I'm doing it again because it happened again. It's actually even longer. So I had a little clip on Wednesday explaining that. And then I was going to post that on Thursday with the whole episode. And that did not happen. And you will see in the upcoming footage why. My youngest ended up getting the Vivitrol shot, which has a lot of meaning, definition to it. It's not going to be glossed over, and it's going to be discussed with him. So he's joining me tonight. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions for the first time. Things that I don't even know, but I am finding out a lot. So needless to say, I wasn't able to focus, and that's why this is all taking so long. He also said I can and should incorporate some footage of him while he was in the crux of being sick. It's going on a week. We thought it would be 2 or 3 days. And that was another really big holdup. I've been playing nurse here. I've been taking care of my son, but he's getting better. And that means anybody could get better. So I'm introducing him now. But I also want to just fill everybody in because it's about 4 or 5 days since I last spoke, and I did talk about my eldest, and unfortunately we still do not know where he is. So we're praying for a good outcome with that, and I'm going to bring my youngest in now. Okay, hi, so I am back, and I am back with my son. This is my youngest son, Devin, and he recently had the Vivitrol shot, as I explained. And I have some questions that you will all find out at the same time that I will, because I'm not quite sure. And I would like to ask just a basic question as to how are you feeling since the shot?
Not 100%, but getting there day by day.
So not 100% means as far as not feeling good?
Yeah.
Do you crave opiates at all?
No, the Vivitrol shot is supposed to help you with cravings.
But I'm just curious because when you have a habit for so long, right, it's like, I'm going to just say here, like smoking cigarettes. You know, we get addicted to putting the cigarette in our hand and then lighting the cigarette and then smoking the cigarette. It's a lot of dynamics. So for you, I'm very happy to hear that there's no crave, but that the movements that go along with use is not in your mind at all, or is it?
The movements?
Yeah, of getting it and preparing it and however you...
No, I never liked doing that anyway. That was the worst part.
The worst part was actually
Waiting on someone. Yeah, waiting on somebody.
Wait, I would say I never even. Okay, I knew waiting on someone was the worst part.
Yeah, if you're sick, it's the worst part.
Okay, but if you weren't sick, did you still despise doing it? Because this is what we're all trying to learn, right? This is why I have this show.
Well, drug addicts know that you run out eventually. And I wasn't only doing them, I was selling them too. So I would run out fairly quickly, daily. So I would have to see somebody daily.
Okay, so you didn't like the waiting, but again, the using of it you didn't like as well?
The high?
Yes,
Yes, I did.
you did.
Anybody that says they don't like getting high is lying.
Okay, so that's where I was just a little confused about. Okay, well, it's just 2 or 3 questions I wanted to pose to incorporate in episode 5. And I'm so proud that you're here. And if you want to say anything by yourself, I'll step away. And you can.
Alright. What's up, guys? My name's Devin. Been on this journey for a little while now. And hopefully now it's all come to an end. It's what this is all about, so it's what we're doing here. It's not just me though, we got one more that we gotta find, but I guess we'll day by day. If you're getting clean, it's always gonna be day by day, even hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute. Take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. Don't rush yourself. You rush yourself back out there, you're just gonna fall. And yeah, that's it. Maybe I'll see you guys next time or another next time.
In the previous footage, a few things important to touch on. 1, when someone admits to being an addict, that is the first step to getting help. So, though at times it was a little muffled in that footage, if you heard my eldest, he said he was an addict. But he also said he was getting help. And he did not this past couple of weeks. Just to stick on all that for right now, I also want to touch upon my youngest. Because, again, you see in the footage, he's going, and going. And he's not, and he's not, and he's not. Back and forth. Listen, it's a mind fuck. Like, this shit, pardon my French tonight, because it may get, it's going to be bad, could drive you crazy. And I'm not supposed to use that terminology in psychology, so I'll retract that, but you can imagine what I mean. Literally knocks the air out of me. I mean, if you see in the previous videos, it was, I'm going. I'm I'm the lunatic. Like, I told you I was going, but I'm not going right now. Like, okay, I'm going in 2 hours, and I'm going tomorrow. You know, it's just it's a very manipulative game, and if you see what happened there with me, I started to manipulate. Whether it's subconscious or not, or a little bit of both, we're so desperate that we kind of join in the game in a different realm, because I was fixated on him taking a shower, if you remember in that one part. Just take a shower, you'll feel better, right? That in my mind is, well, once you get in the shower, then you're going to be closer to getting out the door, which we saw that did not happen. So also, what I have notes written, so I may kind of pause and restart, because I want to touch on a very important thing, which one was admitting you're an addict. Whether you follow through with the help or not right away, the admittance of it is huge. Some people, majority wouldn't say that. I will say that's in the minority. Because no matter what, if someone thinks or knows that they are an addict, but they don't want to be pinned an addict, they would not say that. So at that moment, I was very encouraged, but as you see, nothing happened. And today, I still don't know where my oldest is. My youngest is a totally different story, and we will get into this. But what I also want to point out, okay, so the admittance of addiction, how we start to manipulate. Not in a bad way, but we do. The manipulation of them, of I'm going later, I'm going tomorrow, I'm this and that. I wanted to clear those things up. Excuse me. I also want to recap. See, in my own practice, what I do with my clients is after 4, 5, maybe 6 top sessions, we recap what we've done, what do you think we should focus on next in my office, depending upon the circumstances. Most of the time we work as a team. So I want to recap on video 5. This is video 5, which there was a little, well, it was like a 1 or 2 minute video 5 already, which I have to discuss because I took it down. And I'm jumping ahead now, so I have to go back. What happened was, again, going back, I'm sorry, I went fast forward a little too quickly. What happened was, another reason why I haven't been on here in so long, is my youngest did go into a detox. He went in, I recorded 2 Thursdays ago and posted it. This is how I'm going to remember now. He went in the following, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. See, I can't even remember the fucking time frame. It's so crazy. No, there's that word again. It's so dysfunctional. But he went in. The bottom line is he went in and he left. He left early. This is typical young one, leaving early. But my eldest said he was on his way to he was in a detox, and there's cameras in their house. This was the little 1 to 2 minute video I put up. I took it down right away as soon as I realized it was a very disturbing lie. But he had someone text me from the hospital, which is not uncommon. I've dealt with this, the patients have to give their phones up and everything else, and someone else may text a family member for something or the other. So I received, now I already knew my youngest left. I don't know if my oldest knew that. So he had someone text me saying, your oldest is turning in his personal belongings, and there's a camera in the house that they both live in, and he just wants me to inform you, which was me, that your youngest left detox. He's very sorry that you're going through this, and he's about to go in, so he won't be able to talk any longer. And okay, so that was last Saturday. So today is August. it's well, I know it's my birthday's next Wednesday, and that's the 26th. So today is Thursday. I'm pretty sure it's August 21st. So whatever. So this was the past weekend, and right, Saturday. So I'm informed about all this from a stranger. But the short story of this is, unfortunately, the stranger was my eldest. He never went in a detox. So I took that video down quickly, point is, I was trying to get a video up before 2 weeks and show little bits and pieces here and there until I really have the time to get my mind together to sit in front of a camera, because this is what I want to be doing, and I want to be doing it well. But it's near impossible when you're fucking chasing people around. And I don't recommend it. And the only reason why I got back into this so badly was the two were pitting each other against each other. And that I never dealt with before. And that I was having a hard time with. So as a mom, I went into hyper mode. Like, and though this happened last year, as I previously stated, it wasn't to this extent. So I did have a short little piece up. I took it down because it's a lie. It's a very sad lie that my son was not in the detox. He just happened to see it on the cameras. So now what happens? I still have not talked to my eldest, and I have my youngest with me, and I will explain that in a little while. I want to go back to where I was recapping because it's important. I provided a lot of tips in episode 1, 2, 3, and I want to touch base on them. The open forum we're going to have, I don't want to keep saying it and putting it off because that's not cool. But at the end, I'll explain that a little bit more. So as far as the tips that I gave, number 1, I'm not going in order, but we have to take care of ourselves to be good for others. Okay, well, we could evidently see that Robin is doing a fabulous job at this. So my pain level is high. I never had the ablation. It had to be canceled. And again, I'll explain at the end because it all ties in. So unfortunately, I stopped taking care of myself. Which isn't good, because I suggest that you do the opposite. I also gave a tip on patience. So if we do something like that, we know we're not supposed to, or whatever the case may be, we have to try to do a mental break, which that was another tip, and be patient with ourselves, because sometimes, even though we have choices, we feel like we don't. Especially if, God forbid, we don't want to bury your child. Okay, I want to recap on some other tips that I gave. I gave tips on Suboxone. I gave tips on detox. This is all related to drug addiction. Very important. I'm not going to go over the definitions again. I just like to recap, because moving forward, it all kind of connects together. So I wanted to explain what happened right after all that. And if you'll see in that last footage, my son, my eldest, was great. He said it in his own words. That's why I put that up. And I titled that page the way I did. Because there is hope, and we have to believe. And he was there. And he said in his own words how he disappeared all the time. He's doing it now, again. I don't know what to say about it other than I do, of course, pray that he's getting help. So, staying on, I'm pretty much caught up on my tips. And if I didn't hit them all tonight, I will hit them again, because I know last video I said this is going to be a part 1 and a part 2. I'm not sure if I said part 3. It's definitely going to be a part 3, because this is a lot going on at once. I'm not talking about my chronic pain. listen, that's a whole other entity, and there's so many subjects about that. As far as doctors we could see, medications we could try. I brought up the kratom. I did give some tips on the chronic pain already. So I don't feel like, oh my goodness, you're not following your own rules. I'm swaying a little bit, but the bottom line is my immediate family has been in such a crisis mode that I shelved it. I think I said I shelved it already. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still trying to take care of myself. And you all have to do that with chronic pain. Listen, there's always going to be a disturbance in our life, is the bottom line. It's to the degree. What is the degree of it? Is, oh my God, there's no food in the refrigerator. Oh, I could fucking wait. You know, my neck's bad. Or, you know, like, I need to just, you know, like, chase down children with fucking bats because we need them to live. Okay, so what happened was, after the detox that he left early, I'm just going to get back to that because this is today and the present and the now. I just wanted to mention the hope and the talking at the rehab because it's there, and I would like him to stop disappearing. And if he's watching, stop. We love you. So my youngest didn't complete the detox, but he reached out. Now this is another tip, but it's also what just happened in our world. Vivitrol. Vivitrol is a shot for addicts. It could be used for alcoholics, and it could be used for opiates. It's a shot that you get that you don't crave. I'm just going to stick with the opiates. It all holds true for the alcohol as well. But you don't crave an opiate, and if you take an opiate, you won't feel the effect. You will feel like you're dying. It's the same as being in a withdrawal, which a lot of addicts want to, I guess another little tip, avoid withdrawal. So that's another reason why they keep using instead of just going into a hospital and getting help. I guess it's easier for them to use. So I am very blessed to say my youngest did get the Vivitrol shot. He got that, and I don't want to talk much about it because he's going to. He is ready, and I could almost cry saying it because, you know, initially my eldest was going to be on this journey, but it's okay because my youngest is, and hopefully my eldest will join. But my youngest is ready to come on and talk about it. Talk about his struggles. And I hope actually it's a good tool for him to not only help, because he wants to help now too, but also it may help him realize some things about himself. I'm going to actually ask him questions for the first time about things that I do not know, other than I did ask him about the intravenous use of heroin. And I don't know if I mentioned that early on. I wanted to get that across. I may have skipped that one, and it's important because he has not used intravenous. No, I didn't talk about it because I wanted to actually, I don't know if it's so much, I guess it's a tip, but it's also a fact. Using intravenously, I don't want to say 10 times worse, but it's much worse. Shooting up anything is worse. I mean, any of it's bad. But using a needle, the high is different. The, what should I say, easement, or lack thereof, but the getting off of it is harder. It's a different type of addiction. My youngest, as he says so far, at this point, I don't believe much of anything. But he said he has not done that. And I think he will be joining us. I would say by the next video. That's why, again, I'm not going live, because, you know, this story is writing itself as we go along. And if I have my son saying, hey, he actually wanted me to record him today. He's as sick as a fucking dog. You want to know why? When you take this Vivitrol shot, you cannot do opiates. Up to the rule of thumb is 7 to 14 days, which to me that's a ridiculous rule of thumb, because that's a long spread. We're talking about a week. So they should just keep it at 14 days. So when I went through what he went through, but really as a parent and a mother, I mean, I've been through some shit. I took him for the shot 2 days ago. If you're going to get sick from it, you usually get the sickness, which is, the best way to describe it is like you're withdrawing. Because what's happening is the shot is blocking the opiates. And if there's opiates in your system, you get sick. Okay, so it's comparable, and it almost really is the same thing. I'm sorry if I'm confusing people. I'm almost confusing myself. So he gets the shot. I'm reassured that he's not going to be sick. Now, we're about a half hour away from this doctor's office. Gets the shot around 1:45. We get in the car a little after 2. About 15 minutes or so. I say, how you feeling? Okay. 5 fucking minutes later, the kid's legs are jittering. He is going into a full-blown withdrawal while I am driving. I mean, I've never seen my youngest get like that ever. I've detoxed my oldest. I mean, doing 90. I was doing 90. He's throwing up in my car to get to my house. I I can't say never in a million years didn't think it would happen, but to that extreme, it was a mindfuck. It's still a mindfuck. I've been home now with him and my husband for the past, it's 48 hours now. It feels like it's a year. Straight 24 hours continuous throw up. Looked so bad, like eyes caved in, and because you can't even hold down a sip of water. So this is a very, very big tip for my audience and their families and the addicts. If you plan on getting this shot, man, do it right. There is no screwing around with this. I saw it firsthand. And as a drug counselor, I never, in 18 years, have dealt with that before. Or the components that go with it. I never had a client actually come in and sit down and said, oh, I had a Vivitrol shot and A, B, C, and D, and it happened. No, this is all new to me. And it still is. It's settling in. I thought he needed to go to the hospital right away. But he pulled through. Some people may have to go to a hospital right away. You have to be very careful with this shot. Now, the good news with this shot is you go every 28 days. So now you're not craving opiates. And if you take an opiate, I don't know why you would, because you're immediately going to get sick. So it's senseless to do the shot. And you do that for a year. And you know what? I know people that have success stories from this and have been clean for years. First of all, I would never consider it for my youngest because I never knew the severity of the opiate use, which I'm going to get into with him. My oldest, I did think about it. But he's so sporadic. You see, the two of them have different personalities. My eldest will pick up and go. And I think this has a lot to do with being incarcerated. You know, you don't see your family for so long, you don't talk to them for so long, being able to, which is another tip in some way, separate is not as hard. My youngest, no, pretty much no matter what's going on, unless he's cut off from his family, which had happened until recently, he will call. Even if he's not doing well, he will call. So, 2 different children in that way, which also has broken my heart because, on top of everything else, I really was not fully aware of how sick he was going to be. But we're over the hump. He's still sick. The most he's eaten in 48 hours is probably, with keeping it down, 3 ice pops. So this is a catch-up and a recap. And I just want to be helping people out there, and I think I say it almost every time, and I hope I am. I'm going to have a special guest sooner than later, and with that, I am grateful. And I'm going to end on that. So everybody knows. So in a few days, when you're out of this, you'll be able to tell everybody how to help them.
It's the worst fucking thing in the world.
Okay, so detox is the worst fucking thing in the world. Why?
Because it hurts.
You feel like you're gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
You didn't feel like you were gonna die? It looked like you were gonna, God forbid, die.
I'm gonna die.
So it's constant throw up, like a constant.
Yeah, except for today.
Yeah, but today I'm confused about, because you said you were throwing up through the night and you threw up when Daddy left, and that's only been 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it has slowed down.
It slowed down, yeah. A lot.
Okay, so when we go through detox, we throw up uncontrollably.
Uncontrollably.
Uncontrollably is the worst part of it. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, my throat wasn't so sore.
Yeah, so sore. He doesn't look himself at all, as a matter of fact. I'm just going to show you what he looks like, and then you're going to see him, because he's going to talk about this to save people's lives, which I'm very proud of. And he actually even asked me to record because he thought I was recording. And I'm proud of him. So this is 1 down, 1 to go. But as far as the other one, I have no idea what's going on with him. And he was the one who wanted to start this with my oldest son, and my youngest son may be the one to help everybody. And I'm very thankful that he's making it out on the other side. Do you have anything to say about it?
About what?
Any of this?
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Okay? Peace.